Good morning, Scott Cullen here, Editor-in-Chief of the Cannata Report with a special holiday edition of Fridays with Frank as we get ready to celebrate the new year. And before I bring out Frank, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. Also send Frank your questions. He loves to hear from you. Frank, how are you doing this morning? What's on your mind? Actually, I know what's on your mind because we're going to talk about our annual watch list issue.
Thank you, Scott. You're absolutely right. And seeing you're the creator of the watch list, why don't you share with our audience what it is that you want them to be aware of?
We've got a ton of items in our watch list. We are watching the trends, the companies, the people, the products, and the events this year. And so there is something for everybody. But let's start with a couple of trends. High on my list of trends to watch in 2024 is artificial intelligence, AI. How could we not be watching that? Between the release of ChatGPT a year ago, November, how that platform has taken off in the past 12 plus months. The comments and commentary all over the office technology industry about AI. You go to any dealer meeting, you go to any event, that topic is front and center more so than ever. I remember going to ECS, the Executive Connection Summit, back in January of last year. And that was my first real introduction to ChatGPT. I was just at the IT Nation Connect conference in Orlando back in November, and a lot of talk about AI and how that's an integral part of some of the products and solutions that company is introducing. And there were plenty of sessions throughout that event, and a few of them certainly touched on AI. So artificial intelligence, it's here, it's not going away, it's nothing new. We've all been impacted and use it in some way or another, but I think it's going to be a much more front and center in this coming year. Another trend is remote and hybrid work. It's one of those trends that came to the forefront during the pandemic. It is here to stay, like it or not. I think most people are, or I don't know about most, but more people are accepting this as the way it is. And it's interesting because we're seeing a lot of product introductions that are geared toward remote/hybrid workers. As far as companies we're going to be watching, I'd be remiss not to mention Ricoh and Toshiba, mainly because of the technology partnership they're engaging in. Even though we're not going to be seeing anything in the short term out of that, it really isn't going to start kicking into high gear until the spring, but we probably won't see any concrete evidence until probably a year later. But it is something that makes both of those companies worth watching, and that's why I rate them high on our watch list. Another company we are watching is Intermedia Cloud Communications. UCaaS solutions are becoming more prominent in the dealer channel. Our good buddy Noel Dwyer was on a previous episode with Fridays with Frank talking about it. He's a familiar face at a lot of industry events, and I expect that we'll be seeing more of him and hearing more about Intermedia Cloud Communications as their products become more embraced by the dealer channel in 2024. Now, as far as products, if there's anybody who can talk intelligently about what's happening on the product front, it's you, Frank.
Obviously, we were at the Ricoh meeting and we wrote pretty much in depth about the 3 new products that they showed in the production print space, which were very impressive. The 7500, 9500, the Z75. Just a very, very significant investment that Ricoh has made in strengthening their line. All the manufacturers are making a very strong effort in production print, and we'll be seeing new products from Konica Minolta, Canon, as well as Kyocera. Kyocera is a kind of a newcomer to the game, but it was very interesting to find that the 15,000C was in the product demonstration area in Boulder, where Ricoh has its facility. So, and there's always been a strong association between Ricoh and Kyocera dating back through the years. Production print products will abound. I think what I was most impressed with at the Toshiba meeting was thermal printers, of all things. Very interesting that Toshiba was showing that, and as part of a way to help in terms of MPS, because obviously they're much lower in cost, and evidently they do the job. And there's a company known as Zebra that has been doing this for a while, but mostly with the larger dealerships, and not to any great extent with the typical dealers that we find out there. And so I think there's going to be a lot to share with dealers over the course of the year as thermal printing takes a stronger hold among the day-to-day dealers that we ordinarily come in contact with. Certainly, we anticipate Fuji producing some new products that ultimately will be sold by Xerox and possibly Sharp. So now Fuji has two manufacturers that are selling their product.